Hello there viewers, my name is Luke, and today we have another tactic tester here for you to view on FM Scout. Today's tactic we have is a 4-1-2-2-1 formation, the Guardiola's philosophy, made on the FM Scout website, submitted by Clashman. So if you wish to submit your own tactic, you can do so on the FM Scout website. There is information on how to do that, and the link for the website is of course down in the description. But if you wish to download this exact tactic that I'm going to be testing today, then you can do so as well. That will be at the top of the description down there as well. So in case you're looking for some Let's Play action and you like to follow some other YouTubers' saves, the link to my channel is down in the description. I have a very good Conquering Scandinavia save that you can all come along and enjoy, as well as the Youth to Gold system, which everyone seems to be buzzing about right now. I do it on live streams, but everyone seems to be really enjoying it. Only allowed to sign teenagers and not allowed to use 30-plus-year-olds with Racing Club Strasbourg. So the link is all down in the description. Make sure you go and check it out, please, and maybe give me a nice subscribe, why not? So without further ado, all of the admin stuff out the way, let's have a look at this tactic. Of course, as you've probably seen by the thumbnail, we are using Stade Rennais, and the reason why I'm using this is mainly because it's a different league, of course with one dominant team in Paris Saint-Germain, but this is the side who I think have the potential to be very good, but they are roughly predicted to finish mid-table. So I think it's quite a good tactic to try with a slightly better side and really seeing how they come across. Of course, if you are watching my Youth to Gold series, you'll know that Stade Rennais is a very good side on this year's game and causing me a bit of trouble. But this, anyway, is the tactic. And I think it's quite interesting. It's not how I would picture Guardiola's side setting out. But when you really think about it, this is sort of how his Man City side do work out. So we have the sweeper keeper, of course, Ederson, but in this case it'll be someone else. I will pick the side in a sec, don't you worry about it. We have the two central defenders just on defend, nothing like too outrageous, very simple, with wing backs on support. We then have a halfback, and I like the idea of a halfback. There's the description of it. Halfback drops deeper than a standard defensive midfielder in possession and looks to offer an outlet for a quickly recycling possession and to offer protection against the counter-attack. When you see the description like that, the halfback seems to be quite an overpowered defensive technique, I suppose, that I don't really see a lot of people using. So it's really turned my eye to maybe I should be thinking about using halfbacks during my tactics. In front of him, though, we have two Metzalas on support, and of course the Metzala is more of the player who sort of drifts from central midfield to the winger. Is essentially, as the description describes it, a central half winger who likes to do his defending slightly further up the field, although he does generally have less defensive responsibility. So there we have it. They drift wide and operate into the half spaces. So one on each side for for both wings, of course. In front of them we have the new position brought into this year's game, the inverted winger on support on both sides, of course, and forward we have complete forward only on support. So no attackers whatsoever on this formation, on this tactic. The mentality is selected at positive, and if we have a look more in the possession, the attacking width is quite wide, passing into space, playing out of defence with a much shorter directness. So we're going to see whether Stade Rennais can really keep the possession, and it's something that we will look into. Work the ball into the box, of course. They do not mess around with shots, do Guardiola's sides. A slightly lower tempo, never time wasting, but of course no one ever does. Dribbling less, which is the first time I've ever seen that selected for a tactic, and be more expressive. Low crosses as well. So in transition, we have the counter press, but we don't have the counter, which I thought was quite interesting as well. Very different to what we are used to being used to here on Tactic Tester. Anyway, normally both of these are selected, and that's the first thing that you can guarantee. Distribute the ball to the centre backs by taking short kicks, as you would expect. The new rules and regulations in football now, where you can pass it to someone inside the box from a goal kick, is being used quite nicely during this formation and this tactic. Out of possession, then. Higher line of engagement, higher defensive line, not too high, which is what I like. No offside trap, which is the first time we've seen that. Preventing the short goalkeeper kicks with a lot of urgency. And staying on their feet, the first time we've seen that as well. Not getting stuck in. So the reason why I decided to go with this tactic today is because it's completely different to what we've been seeing here on Tactic Tester. Normally, it's offside trap with gegenpress, and it's that sort of Klopp style of attack. Pushing to get the ball back immediately, and as soon as they do, bang, on the attack. This is a lot more slower, more patient, staying on the feet, not jumping into anything kind of tactic, and I'm really intrigued to see whether we have a lot of passes, whether we keep a lot of possession during the games. It's going to be interesting to see how they work out. So, the team itself, if I do a quick pick, because as you guys know who have watched Tactic Tester before, I simulate the season by going on holiday just using this tactic. So the assistant manager will basically be taking charge of the team. If I quick pick the side, this is how he looks at the team to begin with. So obviously there's a few players who might be out on a holiday or injured who are part of the first side. But like the likes of Niang, of course, he's going to be a big time player in this season as part of Stade Rennais. But we do have this sort of side. So as you can see, other than on the right back situation, we have a player who can play very well in each position. Camavinga, of course, a wonder kid on this year's game, 16 years of age. Be interested to see how much he plays and how he develops. But we do have a lot of players to fill these positions with high familiarity, which I think is really good. Of course, straight from the beginning. So, in Ligue 1, if we can finally get to it, if I can navigate the menus here. In Ligue 1, we have the stages, the previews. Let's have a look at the previews. 8th place, we are predicted to finish. So not too bad. A lot of big French sides above. I'll be interested to see whether we can make it into the European positions with this tactic. The 4th, the 5th, that sort of thing. I would consider that a big success if we do. So without further ado then, let's go forward a year and see what happens. Here we have it then, folks, on this glorious screen. And by the way, people are going to ask about the skin. The skin is called OPZ Elite, and you can find it on the FM Scout website. And the badges that I'm using today are the FootB badges that you can also find on the FM Scout website. So trust me, you can make the game look as good as this just by visiting the FM Scout website, which I implore you to do. And you can be as successful as Stade Rennais because they have Champions League football next year. This tactic has worked wonders, and I did not expect it to. We've beat out the likes of Monaco and Marseille to finish 3rd in the group, in the league, which is a huge success. Quite comfortably as well by 8 points. In a sort of state of their own here, because Lyon are slightly higher, 8 points above them, and of course Paris Saint-Germain wiping the floor with the league, only losing 1 game to Marseille the whole year. So I consider this a huge success, and we actually had a dip in form at the end there. Those last 5 games there, as you can see, 2 draws and a loss at the end to Paris Saint-Germain. It could have been even better, but we will dive into this a little bit more. So here is, where can we go to here? If we go to Ligue 1, we can see the goals and everything like that, and as you can see, the only thing we can see any Stade Rennais players in is the clean sheets. 14 clean sheets, which quite good defensively, if you ask me. Goals-wise then, if we have a look at goals-wise, Mbai Niang, the guy who I said to keep an eye out for, 14 goals this year. Do we have anyone else? We have Hunau on 10. Average rating, we have Mbai and Jiling, 16th and 17th in the league there, and those are the only ones in the top 20. Assist-wise, we have Jonas Martin, a man who is quite good on this year's game. 30 years of age though. In 8th place, joint 8th place with 9 assists. A high tally, if you ask me, for this league. But what we do want to see is we want to see the possession stats. So, straight away, we have the best tackling completion, which you can see here. And for a tactic where it says to stand on feet, that's good. But what I am really intrigued with, and what I can see down in this corner behind my head, where you won't be able to see it, is average possession. There we have it, joint first. With Paris Saint-Germain, of all teams, we have the same possession, 59% across all games, the 38 games that they played. 59 possession, 86% pass completion, and I don't know what the passes completed. We have the most passes completed, I think, in the league, with 18,962, beaten out Paris Saint-Germain is PSG's. We'll go with that. 16,000. So over 2,000 more than Paris Saint-Germain. Over 2,000 more in the whole league in general. I consider that a very good possession tactic. Goals-wise, we are 5th in the goals tally. 58 goals in 38 games. Not too bad at all. The best crossing completion side, nowhere to be seen. Heading, which is a bit by the by. Passing accuracy, of course, we are up there because we have 86%. That's good. And there is the average possession that we spoke about earlier. Fouls made. Now, this is a lot better to see. We are bottom in fouls made, so a lot less yellow cards and red cards. I consider this to be a huge success. No red cards for the whole season. None. That's very good. I'm actually tempted to use this tactic now on my Youth to Gold series because I am impressed by how well this has performed. Goals conceded. Only 37 goals were conceded in 38 games. So, a very good performance, I think, from Stade Rennais. Let's have a look at the squad then. We're on Dr. Benji's squad view, so we're going to see. Goals-wise, Mbaye Niang scored 20 goals in total. We have a 13, a 10, then a 9. Assist-wise, we have 12 assists there by Rafinha, who is a winger, a very good one, 23 years of age. He is a very good player indeed. From Sporting Lisbon, they signed him for at the start of the season. Jonas Martin with 11, then all the way down to Masuasa, or Mausa, we'll go with that, who is a fairly good left-back, to be fair, on this game, with 6 assists. So the left-back getting in on the action assist-wise. Average rating, and this is what I like to see. Of course, people who have watched Tactic Tester before, we want to see as many players as we can in that 7 mark. So there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players above the 7 mark, and someone very close in Clement Grenier. So I like that. I like to see a good performance from my players, and there we have it. A lot of good 7s in this game. Now, transfer-wise, what I actually did was I made sure I set it so that the assistant manager will sign anyone or release anyone if they need to be. So they have actually made some signings here. Not very good ones, albeit. A couple from Strasbourg, which is quite funny considering that's the side I'm doing Youth to Gold with. And a couple of players on loan just to really bolster the squad. So they haven't brought in anyone massively to change their team around. And I thought I would check this just in case. They haven't changed anyone massively, and they're still doing very good stuff here in League 1. Injury-wise then, let's have a look to see if they've had many injuries. Only the one, which was a fairly big length of time there. Timothy Castañas missed out a lot. So I wonder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 majors that we've had there. Camavinga being one in a calf strain. Only for 4 weeks though, and that was pre-season, so I don't think he missed many games. A few moderates and a few minors. So all in all, not too bad if you ask me, that they haven't really suffered with a lot of injuries, haven't had a loss of players that they're missing out with. And while we're on there with Camavinga, he's come on, leaps and bounds already just in one season. It'd be interesting to see where they've been playing him. So on tactics here, so they've played him not a lot, to be fair. 5 times in the DM role and twice in the centre midfielder role. So in total, he's only actually played 7 games, which does surprise me. I thought they'd play him a lot more than that, but obviously the assistant manager doesn't favour him. So if we have a look then at the assistant report, this is what he classes as the best 11, which I never know whether really to trust, because he has Camavinga in it, and we know he hasn't played Camavinga. So maybe this assistant report is not quite as accurate as what we'd imagine and what we'd hope for. Schedule-wise, let's see if there's been some big games, a lot of goals. So we've had a couple of games there right off the bat against Paris Saint-Germain, 2 losses. Didn't start the season very well at all. We'll have a look at the past positions and everything. That's always something I always check. Until we got to this game, the Montpellier game, the turnaround, you might want to say, after those 3 very difficult games. 4-0, and then we went on a bit of a run. We've also, of course, been playing in the Europa League, so we'll have a look to see how they eventually got on in that. But we did a lot of good stuff here until we reached Lyon, where we lost 3-0. 2-0 back on the road there. Wolfsburg, a fairly decent game there. 6-1 against Apoel. And then it looks like we went on a very good run from here down to here, really. Before we played Saint Etienne and lost in the 92nd. Oh no, lost the game, but we scored in the 92nd minute even. So a good run there. Again, carrying on with a decent run. And we're getting very far in the Europa League. Very far indeed. We are in the Europa League semi-final before we were eventually knocked out 6-0 on aggregate by Borussia Mönchengladbach. So a successful campaign in the Europa League as well. Phenomenal stuff, really, with a very bad end of the season there in May. So, competitions-wise, in total, knocked out the semi-final, which was won by Arsenal. Knocked out in the 10th round by Saint Etienne in the Cup. Knocked out in the semi-final there by a team I'm quite surprised went on to win it, Angers, who managed to stay up, I'm surprised with. They don't normally do that. And the Super Cup, they lost in the runners-up position. So let's have a look then at League One. The final thing we're going to have a look at is the past positions and just see how they really got on. So after their little blip here, 5 games in, they never looked past mid-table, back up to 7, down to 8th and 9th, up again. And here is, look at that for consistency. From the game 21 all the way to game 38, they were 3rd in the league and never looked down or up. So that is quite intriguing, I think. And they did really well, to be honest, to be secure in that position. I like it. So there we have it then, guys. All in all, this is a really good tactic. I'm really impressed with this. I might actually try and use it myself. It's simple but effective. I like the fact that they're keeping possession. It's not getting a lot of yellow cards, not a lot of fouls at all. It's keeping clean sheets. I think with that halfback role, it's very good at keeping clean sheets. I really like this formation. I really like this tactic. It's quite an intriguing one, considering Stade Rennais is not a team known for these sort of results and these comebacks against like the Monacos and the Marseilles, overcoming them and finishing way above them in the league points-wise. So I really like this tactic. It'd be interesting to see what this tactic is like with an even better side, whether it would completely dominate the league. Which let me know down in the comments if you do wish for me to try that using a better side and see whether that happens using this tactic. I'll be well up for doing that, definitely. But if you can like this video, that would be absolutely fantastic. Leave a comment down below if you're submitting your tactic and you want me to try it. Of course, a couple of people, Ryan Cassidy being one, we tried his tactic last week. He let me know he had one on there and I went straight on and tried it and it was very successful. So that could be you. You could be the guy who's created Guardiola's tactic 2.0 on FM Scout, and I shall be testing your tactic in the future. But leave a comment down below of all that good stuff as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. I know myself and Jamie have videos planning on coming out. We're going to be a lot more active here on FM Scout, so make sure you do not miss anything by subscribing to the channel. And like I said at the start of the video, if it is Let's Play action that you wish to be watching, then the link to my channel is also down there with the saves that I am doing in France currently with the Youth to Gold system, a very popular system that everyone seems to be enjoying. So my name is Omega Luke, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.